Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 61st episode of the TheCoasterCasters Travel. This is a very special episode. This is possibly turning into a little mini series that I'm going to be doing called The Road to Pandora. This is part one. Tonight I have my guest, Alex.
Hey, everyone.
Mel is here.
Bonjour.
And Danielle is here.
Hola.
And you might be seeing another slot there. No, that's not Will. Will is actually at an Atlanta Braves game tonight. He's having some fun with his friends, which is great. Everyone needs that. But we have the host of Attractions the Show, fellow Universal Annual Pass holder, and our favorite television and movie extra from Sharknado 3, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. We have Banks Lee.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here. I'm very proud of my professional Universal extra position.
Whenever my sister made me start watching Kimmy Schmidt, I'm like, cool, this is a great show. And then whenever season 2's finale hit and it's Universal Orlando, I'm like, okay, let's watch this and see who I know. Oh, there's Banks.
Yep.
That's cool.
Brief, just very brief. You have to really look for me because I'm in that Fear Factor crowd. But
yeah, I had to pause it. And I'm like, where's Banks? There he is. Awesome.
I was sitting right in front of Lisa Kudrow, which was kind of real.
And then Sharknado was just, oh my goodness,
that was a whole experience. That's a whole story in and of itself. That just that whole day, it was so much fun, and I got so lucky with where they put me.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hook like a starving actress up with some of these gigs?
I'm starving too. It's not often I get to do this stuff anymore. Orlando is so full of actors, both in theater and film and television. It's really, those are really the only things I've really gotten to do since I moved here 10 years ago.
I know, and I hate all of them. That's not true, but it's very competitive.
It is.
It's very competitive. Like, I'm going through that right now because personally I'm trying to move down there just because I want to work somewhere dealing with theme parks in a capacity. That's the reason why I started this, and just one day I want to get out of the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, and move down there and be literally, and I'm not trying to make a Little Mermaid joke here, but I want to be where the people are.
No, because I come from middle of nowhere, Texas, Arkansas. My hometown is split in half by the border of Texas and Arkansas, and I've lived there for 23 years, and I always loved Disney. I've always loved theme parks, and so when I found out about the Disney College program, I applied to it through my local community college, and I got in my first time, and that was literally 10 years ago this week. Was when I started my college program, and let me tell you, when you come down here, the Orlando bug bites you, and you don't leave. And 10 years later, I'm still here.
Well, that makes me happy. Now, I will tell you, and not many people know this. I think my 3 friends in here know this, but a couple weeks ago, it was like about a month ago. It was right at the end of the cycle of picking people and nominations and all that stuff or whatever. But I applied for Disney College program, and I literally put everything. Yes, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they rejected me, and I'm like, I'll just try next semester. Like I really didn't think I was gonna get in, but on the off chance I did, I was literally gonna go home and start packing up my stuff, and I was not gonna come back. I was ready for that Orlando bug.
Yeah, I started off doing custodial, but it was, as much as that sounds like a dirty job, it was Disney. It was still a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, you still get to interact with guests, and you can
you can walk around the land. You're not stuck in a certain attraction doing merge or load. You can walk around, and I think that was what the best part of that job was.
Yeah.
You guys make me feel like such a jerk because I applied for college program and I got quick service food and beverage, and I turned it down because I was like, nah, that's terrible.
But like I would take that.
I've lived in Florida. I lived in Florida when that happened, so I was just like, This is not the job at Disney I want.
That I can understand that because I had friends who were doing quick service and they said it was a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, with everything that was going on with my dad and my just life, I just needed a fresh new start, and I would have taken anything.
Well, that's the beauty of the college program, is just continue trying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go on to what people are here for, and that's talking about Volcano Bay and Pandora. So we're going to start with Volcano Bay. And I have 3 mini topics about that. The first one is transportation. And that first kind of question is with off-site resort guests, like if they're staying at Disney or if they're staying at like a Marriott Vacation Club or something like that, will it be logical for them, like the perfect family, for family's perfect, but like husband and wife and 2 kids going to Universal for Volcano Bay for a day? Would it be logical for them to do it? Personally, I think depending on the situation, yes and no. Like if you're there, if you really want to see Harry Potter, or if you really want to see like Pandora, go do those. Don't do Volcano Bay. Like, I'm not trying to deter people away from Volcano Bay. It's going to be like, actually, I think it's going to be cool, and we'll get to that later.
Universal is never going to hire you now, Travis. You're telling people not to go to Volcano Bay.
But I'm not. I'm telling people, like, if you've never seen Potter, go see Potter. Like, literally, go see Potter. If you've never seen Pandora, from what I've seen, go see Pandora. We'll get to that later. But if you're just going there for a day, there's way more better things to do than just go to a water theme park. Like you guys get, yeah, you guys get where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah,
especially right now.
Go ahead, Banks.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And it's going to be kind of hard to really tell until we get into there and see what all it really has to offer and what all there is to do. I mean, obviously there is going to be a lot of stuff to do, but yeah, like if someone has never even been to Universal, they're going to want to go experience the theme parks first and foremost, and then later on, when they come back, or maybe when it's not a crowded summer, they can go try Volcano Bay.
Yeah, because if that one family is going just for Volcano Bay, you're paying $67 per ticket. And you're paying $20 for parking, and you never know. There could be a parking increase. So you could not with the new park. I really don't see one because Disney has 4 parks and 2 water parks, and their parking is $20. So I don't see Universal raising that price. If they do, then I'm gonna be like, what the heck? But yeah, I think depending on the situation, it could be logical to possibly dedicate a day for Volcano Bay. Just wait until maybe Horror Nights time,
right?
And next year.
I mean, I got to imagine that I'm not sure how the operation is going to work during winter, because I know at least with Disney, one water park will be closed for refurbishment and the other one will stay open, and then sometimes they'll close if the weather's too cold. And I got to imagine that Volcano Bay will at least have heated water.
Yeah.
But they probably will. I'm not sure if they're going to cease operation if it gets like below 50 degrees the 2 days it does during the year. But well, that's just something we're going to have to see during the first year of its operation.
What I think might happen, and this is just speculation, and I've been kind of thinking about this because I thought that would probably come up, would be they would wait until not this winter, but next winter to close it for that seasonal maintenance. I would imagine so.
I would think that they'd want to keep it open as much as they can for that first year.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then moving on to on-site resort guests. We all know that if you're staying at Cabana Bay or Sapphire Falls, or really actually Royal Pacific, or when Aventura opened in 2018, it's literally going to be very logical for you to go to that park because it's a hop, skip, and a jump, especially from Cabana.
Yeah.
If you're staying in those towers, you can literally wake up right before park open and I'm not telling anyone to do this. Please don't do it. This is a metaphor. You can literally jump out of your building and go to the park.
Yeah.
It's that close.
But
We saw a picture today from one of my friends, Amanda, who's at Boston White on Twitter, and she's staying in one of the new towers, and it looked phenomenal.
I was gonna say elaborating on that. Really, anyone staying at any of the resorts. I mean, those are the closest resorts to the park. But any resorts, all they have to do is hop on a boat to Sapphire, and then they can walk right over.
That's all they got to do. That's gonna be very like. It could be very temperamental, like if you're just going there, if you're all the way in Portofino and you have to take the bus all the way to Sapphire, you got to wake up early, but you're on site, you're there.
Yeah.
You eventually, if you are staying at Portofino, you never know, because that's one of the higher like priced hotels.
Yeah.
You
what it
could
comes down to is, would you rather pay for a rental car, or would you rather just get up earlier?
Yeah. I would rather personally just get up early.
Yeah, I think most people would prefer to save money.
Usually, whenever I'm at any sort of theme park or going to any sort of theme park, I usually wake up by about 6 a.m.
Oh,
even like with Kentucky Kingdom, I went on Saturday. I woke up at 6 and the park didn't open till 11.
You tourists are crazy.
I'm not, obviously with Kentucky Kingdom, I'm not a tourist, but I digress on that point.
I just love to call you a tourist, Travis.
I know you do.
I'll give you, Travis, that's a lot more beneficial. You go to the park early, especially at the morning hours.
Yeah.
And that they're having earlier hours too.
Yeah. We'll get to that with Pandora, because I have a very interesting thing to talk about with that. But does anyone else have any like thoughts, concerns that they want to put out there about the transportation with Volcano Bay?
I'm worried that people may not acknowledge, like that they may fully acknowledge of the ferries and they may abuse the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because
the ferry boats.
I believe that if people start to abuse the ferry boats in terms of like getting to one place very quickly with the boats, they may have to strike down.
Yeah. Or only allow resort guests to do it, because What?
I said no.
But like I think that's where he's getting at. If you have a non-resort guest going to the park through City Walk and not wanting to take the bus to Volcano Bay, even though that'll be easier, and going to a resort hotel, then going to Volcano Bay, one, why would you go through that many steps? And two, like that's the boats are there. In my thinking, they're there for resort guests.
Yes,
anyone can go on them.
I'm referring to that resort guests at Portofino and Hard Rock may find it as a way to skip the buses altogether and just go straight through the ferries and walk from Sapphire.
Yeah. Banks, do you have any other things about the transportation?
Yeah. I was not too long ago. There were photos of them doing test drives for the buses on the loop that goes between Volcano Bay and the parking garage.
Yes.
And when I saw that, and they were full-fledged like buses, like those double buses. It made me think, like, why didn't they go with open air trams? Because like you're gonna have people leaving the water park. Some of them probably still wet.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to get on an indoor bus with the air pumped, and they're going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll actually agree, because
great foresight.
They should have done the trams from Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they would have had like abilities for video so they can actually tell the Wattori story, and then for those going back to the parking garage, they could have just done, hey, go see this stuff.
While they're at it, why don't they just build us a tram tour?
True.
Long story.
But last night, funny enough, I had a dream about Volcano Bay, and dreams about theme parks happen a lot of the time.
I mean, me too. It's
And
what I dream about.
it was really weird because I was walking onto the Volcano Bay bus and I was kind of still wet, and I got on and I heard the drying thing from Back to the Future Part 2, and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on?
What do you mean? Wait a second. Wouldn't you have said Great Scott?
That's true too. I would probably have said Great Scott.
There we go.
But yeah, that if they have some sort of self-drying seats or something like that, I will be so impressed because we don't know what's inside those buses.
Yeah,
we have no
I
clue.
think we can venture a guess.
Yeah, but honestly, I posted this photo of like the trams that come for the water parks over at Disney and for Universal, and it's amazing the day and night difference.
Yeah.
Although it's water park trams and it's different parks, so I might have judged.
All right. So
Why don't they just build gondolas to Volcano Bay?
Oh Lord, we are not getting in that gondolas.
Why not monorail?
There we go. Listen,
Thanks, I will-
Simpsons had an episode called like the Let's Build a Monorail episode. Just do that.
I'm gonna let Banks in on the little secret. Alex and I had a 2-hour discussion about the gondola system.
Oh boy.
That was,
Yeah, and I called the gondolas as a great move for Disney.
If you watch anything on my channel, please do not watch that.
I'll give you the direct episode via personal message, Banks.
Please don't. We're gonna move on from transportation. We're gonna move on to something that I want to get Banks's personal opinion about, and that's Universal annual pass holder implications. And do you think that they will keep the 2 park passes and the 3 park passes separate, or do you think they will force the upgrade to 3 parks whenever people have to go to renew?
Good question. You know, I don't think that they're going to force. I think if they end up forcing, they're going to probably lose people.
Yes.
I really think as much as they want to call Volcano Bay their 3rd theme park, it boils down to it's just a water park.
It's a water park. I hate this marketing gimmick so much.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to force every annual pass holder to add a water park to their pass because they have it now. The water park should be a upgradable option. It should not be a necessity, or it should not be a something that they are forced to add to their pass. I like where it is right now.
I noticed that Universal changed their motto in terms of 3 new theme parks, but they said 3 unique theme parks.
Well, they all are unique. You have the Studios Park, which everyone says it doesn't have the slogan of Ride the Movies anymore.
It feels like Ride the Movies.
I completely disagree with that because it is literally you're riding you're in Transformers, you're in Harry Potter, all of this is just you're riding everything. You're riding The Simpsons.
I can go on a very large tangent in what my beliefs are for the future of Universal.
Let's not.
Yeah, I know, and I won't.
And Islands of Adventure is literally stepping into a book. Is it not? You have comic books. You have
Kong.
Well, besides Kong.
Yeah.
And Potter is somewhat being in the films instead of the books.
But Kong wasn't King or the Legend of King Kong or something like that a book?
No, King Kong was never a book before. It was a motion picture.
Okay.
Sorry, it's a fun little film story on that. We'll talk about it later.
All right. But with the exception of Kong, obviously, it used to be jumping into a book. That's why it's called Islands of Adventure and all that stuff. And there's a whole something about there. I know there is. But Volcano Bay, we don't know its identity yet. I don't know if it's supposed to be
It's the first large-scale thing Universal's ever done that's not an IP.
Yeah.
That's very true. And
I love someone. I saw an article today. Someone made it really funny. It's like for the first time in a long time, Disney's the one bringing in a giant screen ride from an IP, and Universal's doing something original.
There's irony there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Joke's on them that the screen thing is still probably going to be better.
Yeah.
Probably.
No offense, theme park, but you're a water park.
Honestly,
You are a smaller, less interesting Typhoon Lagoon.
and I always
That
will
forces
compare
me
it
to
to the
wear an
Asphalt
ugly
World.
wristband while in there and ruin my entire aesthetic.
And I will always compare Volcano Bay to the Asphalt World.
Oh, I miss Waterworld. Or not
No,
Water.
the Asphalt World.
I miss Wet and Wild.
That's
I have memories with Wet and Wild. That's why I miss it. I don't really miss it for the rides or anything. I just miss it for the memories that I had.
There was a tiny park that used to be here called Water Mania
Yeah.
that I went to obsessively as a little kid. I was devastated when it closed. It was so fantastic. Rest in peace, Water Mania. Shout out to you.
So does anyone have any I don't think anyone wants to talk more about tickets or anything with annual passes, do we?
Nope.
No.
with the only exception is that I'm curious if there may be a downgrade in the next months.
Yeah. All right, and our last
What I want to know is when team members are going to start getting any kind of discount.
August.
I'll talk to you about that later, Mel.
You don't know the answer.
No, I don't actually. But the next thing that we are going to talk about, and the last thing with Volcano Bay, is Tapu Tapu. The mysterious thing that's going to go on people's wrists. Personally, and I usually don't go first, but I want to say my piece on this.
Go ahead.
Finally. Tapu Tapu, the only way that it will fail, because I think it could succeed.
I think it will succeed, actually.
The only way I think it could fail is with that touchscreen thing. The touch
interface?
The interface, yes. I think there's going to be something that messes up with it eventually, and it's going to be a My Magic Plus, My Disney Experience debacle all over again. No one's going to know how to use the system. I just hope Universal learned from what Disney mistakenly did many, many years ago and push this whole Magic Band, Fast Pass Plus, use your phone thingy, and make it to where it's easier to use, and you literally can tap 2 buttons and get return time for the Krakatoa water coaster.
This is all I'm going to say about it. They're using a highly reliable individual group of Acesso, which has been in the industry one of the largest and most successful.
Yeah.
And I had no doubts that this will be a success.
I can't really talk too much about it. I have actually a friend who was working on the team for Tapu Tapu at Volcano Bay, and he's told me things, and I can't really talk about it because I can't. If I start speculating, I may let something. I just can't.
Don't worry,
That's fine. That's something I did not know, and that's perfectly okay.
we should at least know it by next week, or at least the next 2 weeks.
Does anybody have anything else to talk about with Tapu Tapu?
I do.
Okay.
Tapu Tapu is trashu. And that's it. Been sitting on that joke for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Wow. You've really been waiting for that, haven't you?
That's a new record.
To keep my mouth shut for 10 minutes is miraculous.
I know.
It is a literal sign from God. So
it's the finger of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission from God too.
See, I can't hear someone say 10 minutes without immediately going, 10 minutes will be shark bait in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's funny because that's Will, our other podcaster. That's his text tone, and every single episode it goes off. So
Not every episode.
So no, it's actually been going off a lot recently because he doesn't turn it off, and I send him a message about something, and it just goes, "We'll be shark bait in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Come on, turn your thing off, dude."
Sounds like he's to annoy you now.
Yeah, I think he's doing it to annoy me, and he's living vicariously through Banks right now. Does anyone have anything else to say about Volcano Bay?
If
No,
Will
well, I
picked
think
over,
we have to talk.
What?
But what I just said can't be topped. Don't even bother.
I'll just say the one thing, I'm very much looking forward to covering it. We're definitely going to be there around the opening, filming a segment for the show.
Good.
I will be behind camera because ain't no one want to see my body at a water park.
oh, that's
Well,
not fair.
Honey, never say never.
No, it's all good. We have our hosts lined up. I'll be working camera for the whole segment. I'm very much looking forward to it. We got our GoPros ready to go. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I love new places, so I'm very, very much excited for experiencing this.
So am I. I'm very, very, excited. All right, so moving on. Time out. I hear an echo. All right,
We said no tonight.
Okay, so Banks, I think it's you.
Is it me?
Yes.
Oh,
Danielle, I'm sorry for you.
Oh, how do I get rid of an echo?
I don't know.
Look at what you've done.
Mel, is it on your end?
No, it's on
not
Banks.
my end.
Let me hold 1 second. I'm gonna go put my computer down. I'm gonna go grab some headphones. Maybe that'll help.
Sounds good.
He might have to leave and come back.
I don't think that's the problem.
Every episode.
We need music. We need old music.
We need Horror Nights music.
Hey, perfect. This is the perfect opportunity.
All right, did that work?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It worked. Cool. Mel,
Yay.
before we go on, talk about your thing that you forgot to say.
Troubleshooting.
Yes. Very, very exciting. The reunion's character auditions for HHN 27 were finally given dates. And so all your favorite characters will find out their HHN 27 fate on May 21st.
Cool.
Shut up. Yes, so it's exciting. It's like the ball is rolling. People will be happening.
Yes.
We'll be able to know based purely off of the cast every character that's going to be at AHS. So that's pretty exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
Especially for me because I didn't get to come down last year and I was very saddened about that.
I know.
Now, let's get on to what everyone came here to hear. And that's about Pandora.
My day at SeaWorld.
No, Pandora World of Avatar. And if I remember correctly, Banks, last night was your first experience with Pandora.
It was. My daughter's godmother works at Animal Kingdom, and she was kind enough to invite me with one of her guest slots to the preview last night. And it's hard to put into words how beautiful this land is. I honestly believe this is the most beautiful land in all of Walt Disney World.
Really?
Oh, wow.
That's saying something.
This is Tokyo Disney Sea quality.
Wait, what?
Oh wow.
That triggered Alex a second. He said, "Wait, what?"
I'm Disney Sea lover. I'm a lover of that crud.
It is just so insanely detailed. I was only in there for about 2.5 hours, and I feel like I only saw maybe 30% of the details.
Wow.
Now,
There's
Banks,
so much. Yes.
how do you feel this compares immersion level wise compared to the films or compared to what Universal was able to do with Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade?
You know, I'm going to be straight up honest right now. I still have yet to watch Avatar.
Good.
I
Do it.
once tried years ago. I tried, and I was finding it hard for me to get past the first 20 minutes. I was just so bored. And one day I'll sit down and force myself to watch it all. But in terms of it, I'll start off with in terms of like knowledge of the movies. Obviously, I have no knowledge of the movie. I feel anyone, whether they've seen the movie or not, can go in there and enjoy it because the land itself, everything in there, doesn't rely on any knowledge of plot points.
What I've been saying all along.
You're able to just go in there and you'll pick up on everything that's going there. You talk to cast members, they'll teach you things. They'll teach you some words in Navi. There's a Navi translator device. You can gift shop, which I bought. There's just so much to see there that you can just immediately pick up on everything without knowing anything about the movie. And it's great.
Does the translator serve any purpose in the land?
No. I mean, it's just a fun little toy and basically like a collector card. It's like Pokemon trading card game. There's like 90 cards you can collect. They have booster packs. You can get new cards. And
wow.
I heard that a couple of customers actually told me last night that once they officially open, you'll be able to trade any duplicate cards you get with cast members.
That's so cool. That's very, very cool because I'm pretty sure I would think to at least try and keep a little bit of integrity with the movies, the cast members inside of Pandora will not have pins.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone with lanyards that off the top of my head. I mean, there are obviously pins for sale in the merchandise shop.
Thank God.
I'm really thinking about it, and I don't remember seeing anyone except maybe I think I saw managers walking around with pin lanyards, but none of the frontline customers.
What a blessing! Finally, a place to escape.
I mean, let me tell you this: there's so little Disney reference in the whole land. You really are going into another world when you enter there. The only Disney reference I saw was there's a couple of like manhole covers for the pipes and sewage and stuff like that, and it had the Mickey in the center there, like all the manhole covers have around the resort. But it's so rusted and themed with all the other area that you can't really tell. Even the touch points, the Fast Pass Plus touch points, do not have the Mickey. They have the Ace logo.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
That's very cool.
So they're really treating this Pandora theme and Ace and all that very seriously, and it shows.
It looks incredibly extra. Like they went
above and beyond.
Yeah.
This
ridiculous levels.
I cannot believe how blown away I was by the whole thing.
I will say one thing that I saw that I was kind of skeptical about, and I don't know how it was executed, but Wilderness Explorers.
Okay, yes. The Wilderness Explorers. There are 2 stations in Pandora. They have updated handbooks now that have 2 Pandora pages on there. It's weird to see it because it's supposed to be an Earth-based experience. The way that they were explaining it to us, and they were explaining what you had to learn in order to get your badge, it's basically they are there as Earth representatives, and they are showcasing how plant life on Pandora and animals on Pandora are similar to plant life and animals on Earth.
Gotcha.
So let me get this straight. We have a canon crossover of the Pixar film and James Cameron's Avatar.
Does that mean we're going to see Carl Fredricksen in Avatar 2?
Yes, he's going to fall asleep and become one of the avatars.
You know, I thought I saw a house on top of that waterfall on the floating mountain.
That explains everything.
Oh my goodness! Paradise Falls is Pandora.
We've done it. We've cracked the code, ladies.
We just cracked the Disney code.
Congrats, everyone. Give us let's all have a high five.
Yeah, let's round of applause on that one.
Excellent. Applause cards for everybody.
No, Pandora trading cards for everybody.
No, applause cards. You don't even know what an applause card is, do you?
No.
It's a complimentary card you can give to a team member at Universal Studios.
Okay.
I want to go back though to the second point that about the immersion and kind of like comparing it to Wizarding World at Universal. It's I don't find it fair to compare and to have them compete against each other. As a theme park fan, I love everything, and I don't believe in the competition because we're living in Orlando. We have all this at our grasp. Why cause the competition? We're all winning with all these brand new awesome
things. Thank you
things.
for saying that, because the competition between Disney and Universal is a fantasy invented purely by the least invested fans of these things.
Yeah.
People who do not understand the function of either one. The only competitiveness that I see between the two is a race to be the best, in which they should continue to be competitive. Who not the best in terms of personal opinion, but the most expansions, advancements. Who is pushing the envelope the most? I do think that's something worth seeing in competition. But it's not fair to compare the properties.
Yeah, we the fans are the winners in those cases because we get to experience all these awesome cutting edge experiences, and they're really both Pandora and Wizarding World are both immersive in their own rights. I mean, Pandora is almost like a full-on immersion away from the theme park, and so is Wizarding World. But at the same time, there are elements throughout the Wizarding World where you can look and be like, "Oh, okay, we're at Universal. They have the Universal name tags." But with Pandora, it's just like they don't have any Disney name tags. They have special Pandora Ace name tags. Like I said earlier, there's like only one or two little references to Disney in the whole land. It's just that style of immersion. But they're really, Wizarding World and Pandora, they're their own beasts, and they're both amazing.
Yeah, I can tell you which one is better. If you just answer one question for me.
Yes.
Is the ceiling in River Journey themed?
The ceiling. Oh, okay. Like in the boat ride, like when you're on the ride itself.
Yes. Is there?
The
ceiling?
I couldn't tell. I went on it twice. It's very low light. It's very black light to really showcase the bioluminescence. And I know, like, times when I'm looking up at the stuff that's above me, anything, if when I remember correctly, anything beyond, like, all the plants and stuff that are above the boats, it just looks pure black. I don't see, like, pipes. I don't see wires.
Yeah, the fact that you don't see ceiling tiles means that it is officially far superior to Gringotts. So we now have an answer.
I want to ask you something, Bates.
Yes.
With Pandora, and heavily themed environments, does that now put a standard that you hope to see for Star Wars Land?
Yes. Goodness gracious, yes. From hearing the details that they talked about for Star Wars Land back at Star Wars Celebration last month, if they go that route of immersion for Star Wars Land, it will greatly exceed Pandora.
That's crazy.
And that is saying something because Pandora itself already is so immersive. But at the same time, it is based on a property and it's based on something that not a lot of people really have a lot of knowledge anymore about. I mean, it was a big hit back when it came out. Mm-hmm. But Star Wars is Star Wars. There's still movies coming out. It's such a huge phenomenon that Disney has so much to do to really make this the end-all of immersion experiences with new lands.
Yes.
I agree. Very.
Now, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about merchandise. And you mentioned those Pandora trading card things or the Navi language things.
The translator cards.
Yeah, the translator cards. We're just going to address the elephant in the room because Mel and Danielle really want to talk about
I see where this is going.
What do you think about the tails, Banks?
Yes.
Boop. Boop. Okay, so it was definitely when we saw that they had those, that's like out of left field. Who saw that coming? You never would have thought after years and years of Bill and Ted that Disney would say, you know what, yeah, let's sell Navi tails. They were very popular. From what I saw from people walking around at the preview.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so time out before the podcast, Jen posted on Instagram a boomerang of her with the tail, and it said "knock knock, who's there?" And it had a couple emojis, but it was her with the tail. I'm like, please say that woman didn't buy the tail.
Of course
I can't. I'm sure I saw a couple dozen people already walking around the land with those tails.
Yes.
And
Universal thought that they were making a joke, but really they're just making Disney more money because people want to buy them.
and they also
That's a
sell
good point.
they sell Navi ears too. So I saw several people with the ears and the tail walking around.
Oh my god.
My boss Matt gave me money to buy him a tail. The reason being, let me say the reason being, because he knows he loves Bill and Ted. He knows the joke, and he's thinking, guarantee you by the end of summer, Disney's going to realize the mistake they made.
Exactly.
And they're going to pull those tails out of stock.
Unless they're financially successful.
That's
Right.
why whenever Danielle goes down there, because Danielle's actually going to be down there possibly for the first day, I am going to PayPal or do whatever I have to do to get her money to buy me Navi tail.
Yeah, Matt was like, I want to get the tail right now in case they get rid of them in the future.
I'm scared that they're only going to be there for previews.
I don't know if they are. I honestly,
At the very least, they'll sell out the stock that they have.
I
Yeah.
think if they're that willing now to have those tails out, they're gonna have them at opening.
Because
But-
if you're gonna have those tails out now, when all of the bloggers and the cast members that have seen Bill and Ted, obviously, and know the joke, are buying these things, if they are eating it up, then just keep it going.
yeah, because cast member previews I think ended today, and so up next will be pass holder previews. So I guarantee that a lot of pass holders are going to be getting those tails, and they have the tails in two locations. There's the main Wind Traders gift shop, and then there's a secondary cart near the first restrooms near the entrance where they also do the face painting, and they have them there too.
Mal,
So
I
they
might
have
have
a
to
lot.
PayPal you some money to get me some tails.
And ears.
Yeah.
No, I think the ears will stay.
It's okay, Travis. We all know that you're a furry.
Well, okay, my favorite movie is Zootopia. Get off my back, okay? It's a great film.
Oh, it's okay. I like
And
my
apparently, you
comedy,
also
so we're
want to be a
both different.
Navi.
Okay, we're gonna move on
I
from
will.
that.
I will purchase you a tail, Travis.
Thank
it's
you.
okay. I support your addiction.
It's the only way to do it is be an enabler.
Yeah.
Something that I wanted to personally talk to you about was those Banshee puppets. I tweeted you about these.
Yeah.
What do you think about them? Because I'm personally very excited to walk into my school and have a Banshee.
That is the
And
cringiest thing I've
and
ever heard.
everyone's going to
Travis,
be
don't
like,
care.
"What is on your shoulder?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it's my pet Banshee."
You know, when I first saw the photos, I was like, what are they? I was like, what are they made of? Because like, if they're just all plastic, I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's cute, but it's all plastic. But when I was there and I got a close look at them, they're not plastic. Like they have material that kind of feels like skin.
Really?
So they're very well made. They're very adorable, and they're probably the second most popular thing I saw people walking around with next to the tail. People were buying those very quickly.
Honestly, I love those like Banshees. I would actually buy that.
I'm
I
going
agree.
to.
I mean, anyone
Let
who
me-
frequents Renaissance festivals has seen that exact thing a lot. But I think it was very creative of Disney to adapt that that mechanism and make it a little banshee. It's just a good idea. Honestly, it's rare now that I'm like, yeah, Disney, that is smart merchandising. Normally
Exactly.
it's like, wow, this is horrible. But this was actually them taking like something that already exists that people think is really cool and applying an IP that they now have some rights over to it. So it's quite smart.
Let me tell you, they're really going with the story when it comes to getting these puppets, because when I was talking to the cast members about them, they're really driving home the fact that, you know, these are real baby banshees that you're adopting. So when you ask, like, how much did they cost, they go, well, the adoption fee is $50.
Oh.
And it's like so adorable that how into the story about the Banshee puppets they are. But yeah, I think they're around between $50 and $60 once you add tax to them. But yeah, they're just adorable.
And one last thing with the merchandise that create your own Navi figure.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Is that like the thing that you can like make yourself into a person in the Star Wars thing that they did a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's very similar to the Carbon Freeze Me and the D-Tech Me things that they did in Star Wars Weekends years ago. They have 2 stations right now, and the way that it works is if you want to do it, you have to go and make a reservation there first thing in the morning because they are only doing same-day reservations.
Okay.
Because it takes a little time to scan you and to make them. All in all, I think they said it's about 10 minutes to scan your face, and then it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to make the figure.
Wow.
So obviously you can get it done within an hour. But
Yeah.
it's a lot more complicated than the Star Wars one because with the Star Wars one, it was you just go scan your face and they put your exact face onto the figure. This one's a little bit more complicated, whereas you can pick your eye color. You can pick the pattern of stripes you want on your face. You can pick the shape of your face. It blends your face they scan with a Navi. So it's not like an exact match of your face, but there are elements of your face within that Navi creature, Navi action figure.
Now, can I pay to get a Navi looked like Joe Rody? I kind of want a Navi with like earrings draping down to their neck. That'd be great.
I got to be honest with you here because when I was in the pre-show room for Flight of Passage, and they link you to your avatar in the pre-show rooms. Before I even go further, I better say spoilers because I may spoil something, and I apologize. But one of the avatars that someone in our pre-show room got linked to, I looked at it and I'm like, before I could whip my phone out to take a photo of it, I was like, oh my God, that looks like a Navi version of Joe Rody.
That is
to be honest though, Joe Rody just kind of looks like an avatar. So.
He really does.
Or a Navi. Like he's got that style down. Like if he was just blue and 8 feet tall, he'd be there.
That's just remarkable to me how we've been like getting so angry and mad at Disney for taking so long with Pandora.
And the moment people step foot inside,
they're like, "Oh my goodness,
mind.
why isn't this taking 10 years to make?" Like it's just remarkable.
I would, as much as we were making fun of how long it was taking, I can't imagine it would have been this detailed if they had actually gone with their original opening of 2015. I'm actually kind of glad they took more time.
Yeah,
because it shows.
Yeah.
Did
you, this is moving on to a different topic, did you get to not try, but if you did, that would be great, but did you get to see any of the food options?
I did not. I only stepped foot inside the restaurant just to get a photo inside. I was concentrating on just taking in the land and riding and attempting to ride the rides.
The food looks amazing, but it's like the least interesting thing considering all the other masterpieces surrounding it.
From what Matt and Quinn told me when they went to the media day last week, and you have to try some of the food, like it's pretty good, and it's very unique how you can create your bowl and the layers in your bowl. So there's like so many different mix and match options you can do.
It's space Chipotle.
Kinda.
It actually kind of makes me excited for Star Wars in a way.
Maybe they might do that cantina that everyone's thinking that they're going to do.
All I know is they better have blue milk.
I know they better have blue milk. If they have a blue alcoholic beverage for Pandora, they better have blue milk. Just saying.
Oh, blue alcoholic milk.
Do a non-alcoholic and an alcoholic.
No, I just want the alcoholic one. I turned 21 in 2 weeks. I'm good.
Moving on to the attractions, we're gonna start with River Journey because that's the
easy one.
That's the easier one. From what I've seen from watching your guys' videos at attractions and watching others' videos, it looks pretty solid. The only thing that if I was there, I would have a problem with is the boat being so small.
It is. It's only 2 rows of 4.
Yeah.
And when you have people your size and height, like the four of us in the front row. It was kind of not force, but it was cramped a little bit, but not so cramped that it was uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what did you think of the overall attraction of it? Like,
it's a very very pretty attraction, and it's a perfect fit for the land because it is a simple boat ride that everyone can ride. No height requirements. The whole family can go on there, which is perfect for me because my daughter is still too small for the main ride, so I can take her on here. It's definitely something that is the perfect companion to the big e-ticket simulator ride. And there's so much to look at. And like I said earlier, I went on it twice during the night, and I was noticing new things both rides. There's so much to look at. And yes, it is a mix of physical sets and screens, but the screens, something I noticed the second ride, the screens have multiple levels to them, so that you have like an action happening on the first screen, and then there's a second screen behind that and another screen behind that, so that when you're passing by, you see things, layers moving, so it doesn't look really look like it's just one screen.
So
it
it's
looks like
basically
there's depth to it.
And it's screens.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You might have asked you something.
Yeah.
If you had to compare this with another attraction, what would you say is a perfect example of how this works?
Like the logistics of the attraction?
And projections themselves, because I always think about Alice.
Yeah, I'd probably say Alice at Disneyland. It's really hard to compare because there really is no other.
There's no other thing ride. It's its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's like Small World, it's like Pirates. It's just you get in a boat and you go down a river, but what's happening around you is really not anything that Disney has done before.
I just find it really fascinating about the projection mapping being very similar to the scene from Alice.
I haven't been on Alice enough to really know what you're talking about. I think the last time I rode Alice was 2013.
The Flower Garden scene that was in projection mapping.
Yeah, I think that I haven't seen that in person yet, so I can't really compare properly. Yeah. I will say there are two Na'vi in the River Journey. Of course, the one Shaman of Songs that everyone knows about, the really amazing audio animatronic.
Yes.
There's one Na'vi at the beginning that is actually a screen, but it is done in a way to where it looks like it is a animatronic standing right there because it's holding a staff, and the staff and its hand are physical, but then its arm and the rest of its body is a screen, but it blends together so well that I didn't even notice it was a screen until the second ride.
Seriously?
Okay, but why wouldn't they just build an animatronic? That sounds silly.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, and watching him on the second ride.
Why do you have to innovate something when you could just build something you already know how to do?
I guess because he says something, but at the same time the shaman does too. I don't know why they did it that way.
The most articulated I've ever seen. Clearly, they can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe that isn't a physical one, but from what I was told, there are only two animatronics, and it's the shaman and one other one at Flight of Passage.
Which I believe it's that one in the tank, is it?
Yes.
Well,
we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a minute.
What I don't have anything else to talk about River Journey. I think we should just go straight into Flight of Passage.
Okay.
Right. Does anyone have anything to talk about with the River Journey? Any other final questions about it?
It's visually stunning, and it's one of the best looking attractions I've ever seen.
Yes.
And that's just you watching a video. Wait till you go on in person.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Avatar Flight of Passage.
So much to talk about in this one. Let's just start with the queue. The best comparison I can give, and this was my first thought. I was a note during the cast preview. When you went to go ride it, you went through the fast pass line, but they allowed you to walk through the whole standby queue so you can see the whole experience. Fast pass bypasses the entire queue experience. You do not get to see anything in the standby queue. Seriously.
I'm not surprised about that.
So if you want to see that whole experience, you're going to want to do standby. And the thing that I thought of immediately going through that, this is finally Walt Disney World's version of the Indiana Jones queue at Disneyland.
Yes.
Really?
It is long, it is detailed, and it is beautiful.
I have really wanted to hear something like that for a long period of time. Because
Yes.
Indiana Jones Adventure is something else.
It's so good.
You start off going through a cave, or you start off going through a path up through the guard, like not the guards, but a lot of the plant life and the waterfalls in front of the mountain range there. And then you go into a cave, and then you go into an abandoned RDA facility. Then you go into a bioluminescent forest. Then you go into the lab facility. It's just so many scenes throughout the whole queue, and so much to look at. It's insane, the details.
That's insane. And whenever, like, my mom and I, whenever you guys at attractions posted the videos or started posting, we were up at Kentucky Kingdom. I'm like, no, I don't have 4G. I can't watch them. Because I was trying to like post and do actual like coverage of Kentucky Kingdom, when I'm like, oh well, no one's gonna care because everyone's at Avatar. But I found Wi-Fi somewhere in the park, and I watched whenever you guys had the full POV of River Journey, and I thought it was beautiful. But on the way home, I used my mom's phone, and I watched the queue experience for Flight of Passage, and like my mom was like looking over it while she was driving. I'm like, Mom, well, I'm just gonna turn it off. We'll watch it when we get home. So whenever we got home, we watched it, and she saw that Avatar, like the full Avatar animatronic, and she was like, "Whoa, hold up, that thing's scary." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "Yes, it is. It looks like the actual thing from the movie."
Yes,
it looks beautiful.
I stood there
for
for
the tank.
Yes,
Yeah.
one in the tank.
I stood there for about 10 minutes just staring at it, because for me, I'm in awe by it, but I want to know, how does this work? What are the elements that are combining to showcase this? And I confirmed it is a animatronic. It is not a screen effect.
Real quick, I had to leave to deal with a dog situation. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Flight of Passage.
And the amazing
You're talking about that
animatronic.
floating avatar in the tank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I will say this.
Yeah.
It is by far more realistic than the one in Navi River Journey.
And it's so weird because it doesn't really move that much. I mean, it kind of like twitches and things like that, but it's mainly just motionless in the tank. But that still makes it so believable. Just those little movements that it does make. And I'm staring at it. I'm like, what are the how is it floating in the tank? Like,
Yeah, that's my question. I'm guessing it has to be some kind of projection mapping to make it look like it's floating in the tank without it actually.
It is not.
It can't actually be suspended in liquid.
I can't, honestly, unless I can find Joe Rohde and ask him in person. I'm still dumbfounded by how it works.
That's amazing.
My best estimate right now is that it is on some sort of pole, and the pole is sticking out the back of it near its hip area, because there's no angle you can get to really see behind its hip. So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe something's attached there to give the floating elements, and then maybe the tube itself, like there's an outer layer with the water. But then, when you look at the tail and you look at its hair, it's in water, and there's no way you can make any sort of mechanics to cause strings of hair to float in water like that.
What? That is
And I'm just like, I'm staring at it, I'm like, how this has to be like the first submerged audio animatronic.
It has to be.
Well,
Honestly,
well, what about the hippos on the Jungle Cruise?
True. Good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but still, just yeah.
I actually
it's-
saw it more
yes.
to.
I mean, those are incredibly simplistic, animatronics. Nothing to this level has ever been even attempted. Well, because see, little quick backstory. I haven't watched any videos. I'm trying to keep myself as visually spoiler free as I can before I go to the preview
Right.
with teeth. So I've only seen still images of this floating avatar. That's all I know about it. So,
Honestly, and
so excited.
I really think it's like a Haunted Mansion type effect.
like Pepper's Ghost kind of thing.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be transparent? Pepper's Ghost.
maybe. I just don't know. It looks so much like
I just don't see any area where that effect could be pulled off in there, because you can. Like I said, I spent 10 minutes there, and I really need to spend more time just staring at it and trying to figure it out, because it's just when you see it, your jaw drops. You're like, what the heck?
It honestly is the greatest feat in that entire land, that animatronic, because it's such a mystery in how it's handled.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will talk about it in the future. But right now, Imagineers and someone that was with my friend's group who worked on the land, he was very like, oh no, that's an avatar. He wouldn't say anything else, and I'm like, okay, I get you. I'm not going to poke any further, but I need more time. I need more time to look at it.
I will poke. I know people.
But freely.
I'm joking. But Horror Nights brings many friends.
Before we move on, I want to say this now. This next part could contain spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled by what Banks could possibly say.
I feel so bad, but I kind of want to leave.
Yeah, me too.
Let me go ahead and say it right now. If we're about to talk about the ride portion,
Yeah.
I did not ride. I did not fit.
Would you like to explain that a little?
Yes, I would love to explain this.
And I'd love to hear it too, because I'm curious.
The restraint system is unlike anything we've seen at Walt Disney World. Obviously, if you're familiar with the Tron ride at Shanghai, you've seen kind of this exact same restraint system. It's very much like a motorcycle seat. You sit down, your legs on both sides, you're leaning forward and grabbing onto the pole. And the way the restraint system works is there are 3 restraints that have to lock in. 1 that goes up and presses against your back, and 2 that swing out and press against the back of your legs below the knee. Now, for me, the back was fine. That locked no problem. It was the leg restraints that could not lock. And the reason being, at least from what I can guesstimate, is inside the seat where your knees and your feet go, it's kind of like there's room for your knees to go in, there's room for your legs or your feet to go in, and then in your shin area, it's something sticking out. And from what I heard, that is an element that's part of the ride, and I won't spoil what that does from what my friends told me. But that quote-unquote shin guard is what kept me from being able to scoot my legs forward enough to lock. So definitely feeling like, because I'm a big guy, but
you preface how tall you are? I think
I am 6'2". I am 6'2", and so my worry is that even people who may not be big but are tall and have long legs may have problems.
Well, there goes my way of riding Flight of Passage. Banks, I'm 6'5".
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I confirmed with the cast member that test seats will be installed by the official opening.
Okay.
Are they going to add larger seats?
I don't know. No one can answer that question. And I asked plenty of people. No one.
That's the most important question right now.
This, I got so much to say about this. I definitely will be going back once the test seats are put in and studying it and practicing and finding new ways to adjust my legs to get those damn leg restraints locked in. And From what someone told me, one of the cast members that worked there was a big guy. He said when they were testing the ride during test and adjust, those shin guards weren't as big as they are now. So he was able to ride it first, but then when they made them a little bit bigger, he wasn't able to ride anymore.
When you say big guy, do you mean height or around?
Around.
Okay.
The shin guards.
I know
shin guards.
I know what the shin guards are supposed to be for.
I don't, so don't say a word.
I won't say what they are for, but I will say from what someone told me, when the ride starts, the shin guards decrease in size. So
That makes sense.
Why can't they already be decreased in size when you go in there? Well, it's
that is
because
absolutely the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Let me tell you though, from what I understand to what those shin guards do in the ride, it cannot be decreased in size first. It needs to be fully out because
of what happened.
Okay.
Spoiler.
You know what? Spoiler. I'm sorry. It has to be said.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Bye, Mac.
Bye.
Wait,
You guys, I'm so sorry. I've been
beforehand.
I understand.
Before you leave, if you don't come back, do your plug thingy.
Yes, I won't be coming back. I'm going to get drunk for Cinco de Mayo.
Have fun.
You can follow me at my brand new Twitter handle, Mel's Diane, with 2 L's on Mel's. And Banks, it was so wonderful to get to talk to you. I'm so sorry that I'm bailing out, but I hope you come back because I want to talk.
Definitely.
To you. I just don't. I have been okay. I want to get this out of my system real quick before I go. I have been a champion of Avatar Land since the day it was announced. I heard the announcement. Everybody blew up. Everybody was furious. And I remember I was living with my parents. It was before I graduated high school. And I looked at my dad and I said, this is going to be amazing. He loves Avatar. I've watched that movie dozens of times. I know a lot about it. And I thought this is going to be abso-freaking-lutely incredible. And everybody has hated it. And I have never for a second doubted that it would be amazing. And I am just so excited that it's finally open. I cannot bear to have anything put into my ears that should go into my eyes.
I completely understand. Definitely, once you go experience it, have me back on. We'll talk about everything. I'm happy to come back.
And Danielle, yes,
yes. I will need to talk about it. Not just once. I will need to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll need to talk about it, definitely, because it looks incredible, and it's just, I've been trying to stay away from it, too.
And it's hard. The other night, I felt like some kind of heroin addict. I was texting this group chat, and I was like, guys, tell me not to spoil River Journey right now. Tell me not to do it. I'm going to watch the video. So a couple days. Anyways, have a great evening, guys. Please follow me on Twitter, Mel's Diane. I enjoy.
Thank you, Mel.
My opinions. I'll see you guys a little later.
See ya.
And Danielle, are you okay?
I am actually just going to go on mute and you can text me whenever you're done talking about it, and I'll come back.
Take out your headphones too.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So whenever she goes on mute, you're good.
Okay.
And
so yeah,
good. Okay.
So yeah, spoilers again. And really, it's not a big spoiler because I'm not telling you anything about. Well, okay, the shin guards serve as your way of feeling the banshee breathing.
That's what I thought. Yep.
So it has to be that shin piece has to be fully extended so that your leg can then, once the ride starts, it'll go back in. It'll be pulsating in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
If you start with it already in, and then the leg restraint locks in, when it breathes out, your leg's going to get squished.
Yeah.
Pretty uncomfortably. So they want to just go ahead and have it in the out position, which I understand.
Let me ask you something. As we are talking about spoilers, how exactly does the ride start, if you do know? Because I've always been the firm believer that the walls
my first. I did not want to ask or give a scene-by-scene rundown of how it starts because I do want to
experience it.
Work on my weight, work on trying to fit in the seat to experience this. So I'm trying not to have too much about the actual scenes and stuff spoiled for me.
Yep.
I just know like the room that you're in when you sit down is fairly small, but
Really?
it somehow opens up to the giant IMAX screen. I don't know how.
Oh,
That's just all I know right now.
I think about the IMAX screen.
I've had a theory throughout the past few weeks now, ever since I talked with Jose of Krypton Logic. And the more I think about it, the more I believe what I'm starting to think. And if it's exactly what I think, it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, from what people that I know that have been on it, Quinn from the show,
Yeah.
he was in tears after the ride was over.
Seriously?
Seriously. And I'm not just like not in a like cute way, but like he was moved, and from what it's like Soren on crack, with the thrills of Simpsons and even some of Tower of Terror.
Ooh.
From what a couple of friends have told me.
But kind of like how Happily Ever After is basically Disneyland Forever and the Tokyo Once Upon a Time having a baby on crack.
Kinda.
At first, whenever I saw your guys' videos and a bunch of other people's videos of the seats, I was like, okay, where's the screen? And I'm like,
that wall
okay.
somehow opens up.
And
So-
the more I heard about it too, I was like, okay, yeah, that's gonna move.
What I thought happens, and I won't know until I go down in October, was kind of like a Star Tours thing where it opens up like that. But you say big IMAX screen, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot there's a big IMAX screen in this thing. I don't know how they can do it.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's just something you have to experience in person to see yourself.
I kind of want Disney to crack down on people recording with this.
For the most part, I have not seen any videos come out of the ride experience itself, and
There are none.
I don't think there's any way that anyone's going to be able to without getting caught before the ride starts.
Maybe.
I will be honest, Disney is very lenient on their recording on rides. We all know this. I had my cell phone that was not attached to anything. I was literally holding on with it with my hand, and I recorded Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. They just didn't care.
Yeah, Disney's usually really lenient, like you said, yeah.
I don't think that they will be lenient, but if they are, a really good way to do it would be a GoPro with the chest harness.
No
Chest
harness. No chest harness.
No chest harness?
If you do a chest harness, it's going to be buried in the seat.
Is it?
Literally, the way you're sitting, the brief time that I was sitting in there, the only part of me that was really sticking out was my shoulders up.
Ooh.
And
You're fully immersed in this like motorcycle style seat.
from what I've seen too, isn't the seats having like a touchscreen on the bottom?
It's not a touchscreen. It's just a little monitor that's you can look at while you're waiting to ride, and it shows your face and shows you the percentage of you linking to your avatar. It's just really there for thematic purposes. It's not a touchscreen.
Now, what I always was hoping that they would do for this ride, and I think I talked about it at the beginning of the life of this podcast, was you put on a helmet and you connect your tail to the base.
No, there's only 3D glasses, but it's a kind of 3D glasses that Disney has never done before. They are big. You can actually see it. I posted a photo of it on my Facebook page. Maybe I'll tweet it out here.
I know those too.
Yeah, they're big 3D glasses, and yeah, they're themed, and they're unlike any 3D glasses that Disney has done.
They put Universal's to shame.
Oh yeah.
With the pre-shows,
yes.
Did you have any problems with the pre-shows, like anything skipping or anything going back to the beginning or anything like that?
No, not for me. I know when my boss was there on media day that it happened to them one time, but for us the pre-shows went smooth, and it's really neat. It's kind of interactive. I really like the guy that's in the pre-show. He's very natural in his talking. He doesn't seem like he's reading off a script. And that's just the actor in me thinking. But it's the pre-show is really really kind of neat.
Kind of reminds me of Dinosaur.
Do what?
Dinosaur in a way.
Kinda, yeah. Except Seeker's kind of theatrical in his talking, and so it's kind of it's a very mellow version of the Dinosaur pre-show, I would say.
Yeah. And finally, do you have any other last final thoughts about Avatar: Flight of Passage?
Okay. I think the capacity for this ride is going to be amazing.
Okay.
Agreed.
From what I remember, I haven't confirmed this with anyone. I'm just going off what I remember seeing while the land was being built, because I live across the street from Animal Kingdom. So I would drive by Animal Kingdom a lot. I think there are 4 screens.
There are.
It's situated in a square. From what they told me, there are 3 levels of simulators.
Wow.
With 16 rows on each level, 16 seats on each level. So when you add that all up, I think the capacity is going to be pretty good, and it's going to move.
Good. Because
48 people per show.
And then plus times 4 theaters.
So
wow.
let me multiply that. That would be 192 people per, for all 4.
And then times that by
per hour.
I would say give it maybe, because I think the ride itself is 4.5 or 5 minutes from what I heard. So I'd say probably give it about a good 8 to 10 minutes to load, unload. And
I'll
then,
put 9.
And for the ride portion, load and unload. I would say 9 minutes if they're moving.
Okay, so 16 seats for 3 rows. And that's 48. And then for 4 theaters, that is... Come on.
math is hard.
Times 4. That is 182 times about 9. That's about 1,728.
That's
not even by the hour.
Yeah. That's insane.
The waiting areas before the pre-show are long, so there's a lot of room for a lot of people, and I think they knew that this is going to be a capacity eater. It's going to get a lot of people going.
Soren did.
Personally, I don't want it to end up like Soren, where we have to wait 4 hours to ride it.
I think with the fact that they did the 4 theaters and with that type of capacity, it's not going to be a problem.
I think at first the ride will break down a lot, like usually rides do at the beginning of their life.
Yeah.
Just because they're not used to having 200 people in a theater. But
this ride's different.
I think that'll work out, and I don't personally think with peak times we might see it over 90 minutes. Which
I think
with
120.
with all of the stuff considered, with the queue, with the pre-shows, that's not bad. Like if I was going and waiting 120 minutes for Flight of Passage, I think it would be worth it because of everything that's inside, especially that audio animatronic.
But I will say I'm just speculating on the capacity. Yeah. I just know that when we loaded, there were 2 rooms of 8 seats for our level. So I'm just kind of I need to confirm the capacity, but that's what I'm thinking.
If you get more info, let us know, because that'd be really good.
Yeah. I'll be back. I'm actually going to be back in Pandora on the 12th for another media day.
Oh, cool.
So I'll try to get some more questions answered while I'm there.
I have to ask though, with Volcano Bay and Pandora both having media days on the same week.
Oh my god!
I have to ask, how bad is it going to be for you guys to juggle around?
It's for us. It's we figured it out for us. We actually have a big team of volunteers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be going to Volcano Bay. Matt's going to go to Pandora. He's going to have a reporter with him. I'm going to have reporters with me. So we're going to be fine. We're going to be able to split up. But I know there's some sites and some outlets that don't have that luxury, and some are going to have to pick and choose or like do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. It's going to be the busiest media weekend that I've ever experienced since I got this job.
That's crazy.
And that's not even mentioning about like media events that may occur outside of it.
Yeah, really, the big day is going to be May 24th. May 24th is the media day for both Pandora and Volcano Bay, the day that they're letting media go in and have exclusive access.
Yeah.
It's Pandora at night. Or is that just
I think the night is part of it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a very busy week. And then, of course, we also have Guardians opening that same weekend at
In California.
Disneyland. But I think their media day is the 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Now
I have that 25th because they have that midnight thing going on.
Oh, no, yeah, 25th. Yeah, 26th is the party. And then, 25th is the media day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to one final question from me. And this is dealing with the park hours that they announced with the whole extra magic hours and all that stuff.
Oh, by the way, Travis, you may want to get
I just messaged her. Do you think that with the addition of Pandora, World of Avatar, Rivers of Light, and all the other nighttime offerings, do you think it will help attendance throughout the day and keep it at its half-day park status, as we call it, or do you think it will push it into that upper echelon of a full day park?
This is my personal opinion. I think once we hit May 27th, Disney's Animal Kingdom will finally be a full-fledged full-day park.
Really?
Yes.
I can see that now because of all the word about Pandora being really good. A lot of that good reception may actually pose a really good possibility for them.
There's so much to see in Pandora. You can spend hours in there in the daytime and then come back and spend hours there at nighttime to see with the bioluminescence.
And something that I can attest to, because I actually saw something, because I went down in March and I saw Rivers of Light. That show is gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous show. It's not my favorite nighttime show, but it is gorgeous.
It's not my favorite. I have that for Witches and Phantasmic, but Rivers of Light is great.
It's not the best show, but it'll be there for a good amount of time.
The way that they do that, I guess it's GPS tracking on those flower petals and all the other things, and that big
that's what I've heard.
That big water screen. It's just phenomenal how they pulled all of that off, and the fact that it doesn't wake up animals. It's just oh my goodness.
But I will say, I think Animal Kingdom is going to be a full day park now, like honest full day park. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure some people will argue against that, but I do believe that Pandora is the last of the Animal Kingdom enhancements.
Yeah.
This is it. Once May 27th hits, Animal Kingdom is now transformed into its current version.
Yes, version 2.0 per se,
which is a full day park.
Somewhat similar to California Adventure when that got changed.
Kinda, I would say so. Yeah.
I'm very excited to see it. I'm coming down like middle of October for Horror Nights, and that first day I can either do a night of Horror Nights, or I can skip Horror Nights, do Disney Springs in the morning, or I can just go straight to Pandora and just stay in Pandora all day. I'm like, ooh, do I want to do Pandora in the morning and then do Horror Nights at night? Or do I want to just stay in Pandora all day and literally just do Flight of Passage back to back to back to back?
I'm honestly surprised you have considered just doing Volcano Bay in the morning and then going for Pandora at night.
I didn't get to say this earlier. I don't think I'm going to do Volcano Bay this trip. I am very skeptical on it. It really all depends on how the videos look beforehand and what people are saying, because I'll
let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know whenever we go for the opening event.
Yeah, and
I'm skeptical too.
And I will probably have you on again because this is just great. But I take your opinion into consideration, Banks. I take Tim and Jen's and a bunch of other people. I take their opinions into consideration when I go do things. Like I was kind of skeptical with Pandora, and then I started seeing pictures. I'm like, maybe this might not be bad. And then whenever everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is great, this is amazing, this is revolutionary, I'm like, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. I guess we should we touch a little bit upon the bioluminescence?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. Please talk about the bioluminescence.
I will say the preview that I was at ended at 8 o'clock, and right now 8 o'clock still has a little bit of sunlight to it, but there was enough darkness that I could start seeing the bioluminescence appearing, and there's going to be so much to look at when the sun goes down. There, almost every plant in there is going to be lit up, and it is going to be gorgeous, so gorgeous. I'm hoping that when I go back on the 12th that they have us go in at night, because when Matt and Quinn went last Friday, they brought them into the entrance area and up to where you can kind of see the overlook of the floating mountains, but they weren't finished with a lot of the bioluminescence, so they couldn't go any further. They didn't really get a good full look at the whole land. So I'm hoping we get a better look on the 12th. But from what I was able to kind of pick up around the attraction entrances and stuff as the sun was going down, there's a lot of life that's going to come. A lot of things are going to come alive at night. And it really is going to be like you go during the day and you spend a couple hours looking at all the details. And then you go back at night and you spend more hours looking at all the details, because it's going to be a completely different experience.
You mind if I ask you something?
Yeah.
I thought I saw a while back projection mapping testing going on for the mountains.
A what?
Like there was projection mapping, like mapping testing.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Now, the projection mapping, from what the thing that I saw, it wasn't on the floating mountains themselves. I don't know if there's anything they may be doing in the future, but in the facade area of Flight of Passage, when you look out at the cliffs and you kind of see those arching rockwork facades, you'll see waterfalls coming down from there. Starts off small because it's far away, and then gets bigger as it gets closer and the water gets bigger. The waterfall that's at the very top, the waterfall that's furthest away, I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. Look at that little waterfall there. And then Casper told me, oh, that top waterfall, that's not real. That's a projection.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The waterfall that's supposed to represent the furthest away waterfall, if you really look at it, you can tell the water is not falling like at a normal pace that the real waterfalls are falling. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I did not know that was a projection until someone actually had to tell me that. It looks so real. It just adds to the forced perspective.
It really sounds like Disney outdid themselves with this, and it sounds great. It really does. Like, we had New Fantasyland, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. We have a family coaster that most everyone can ride. We have Little Mermaid. We have a meet and greet. We have new areas, and we have beer. Yes, no. Disney's like, no, we're not done yet. We're gonna do Pandora, and we're gonna like.
Joe Rody's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, no. It's like New Fantasyland, and then Universal's like, we're gonna do Harry Potter. What do you got next? Hold my beer. I got Pandora, sir.
Well, it's not as popular as it was now, but it really is surprising.
And I heard, because there was an interview with James Cameron, I forgot to bring this up earlier. James Cameron said there will be things that you see inside of Pandora World of Avatar that they have coerced into the story of the rest of the Pandora saga.
Yes, they have, and I can also attest to that.
He said that there will be things that you see inside of Pandora World of Avatar that you will see inside Pandora 2 and 3.
I will complain
Or
about this.
Avatar 2 and 3.
I do believe that this area is somewhat of a spoiler for those fans. Because there are certain things that I will not mention that you connect to the future films.
Yes.
And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I just want the movie to start out with the trailers. I just want it to be the first one to be a commercial for Pandora World of Avatar. That's all I want. I know it'll be like possibly 5 years in the future because this movie's never going to come out. But I just want it to be
I honestly
commercial.
I believe now with everything done for the theme parks and that they do clone it for other parks. I'm looking at you, Shanghai.
I don't know.
I honestly believe it will be coming to Shanghai.
We can talk.
Especially-
We can talk about that some other time, but I don't think Shanghai will get it.
It depends on the financial success of this and the other Avatar sequel.
Possibly, but they need other things. They need a Zootopia land. You know, Joe Rody, I love you. You're a great, great man. I need Zootopia.
Keep busy working on Marvel.
Make a Zootopia ride, or make a DMV restaurant where we can have audio animatronic sloths giving us our food.
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody agrees with me. Just like you're sitting, like, for example, Cosmic Rays, instead of having all those people, you have just an audio animatronic sloth in a rolly chair. Turn around. Someone puts the tray into their arms, and then they turn around very slowly, and then extend their arms very slowly. That's exactly what I want.
I'm not a fan of Zootopia. Travis knows this, and I don't get it.
It's
I love Zootopia, but I've been loving all the Disney films since Tangled, really since Princess and the Frog. I've loved every single one of them.
Yes. Like I can live without Frozen, but I still to this day watch that movie.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I patiently wait for The Incredibles 2.
We all wait for that movie.
Thank God it's finally coming.
I know, right?
But I was just final thoughts on Avatar.
Yeah, final thoughts on Avatar.
It really is. It's unreal, but yet it's all real. It's all there. It is just mind blowing, and I don't use that term a lot. Like, it seriously is just. I'm not. I don't have a paycheck coming from Disney tomorrow. This is jaw dropping. This is. It has to be seen to be believed. You have to go experience this. And if you can be patient, I'd say wait until after the summer crowds, because from what I heard, someone told me there are two ways to get into Pandora. There's the way that goes by Tiffin's, the old way to get into Camp Mini Mickey, and then there's a new path they've now connected Pandora with over by Festival of the Lion King.
Ooh.
I believe that's an exit path, actually.
Yes, for the time being, when it opens, there's only going to be one way in and one way out. So you'll enter in by Tiffin's and you'll exit out toward Lion King. Once the crowds die down, then you'll be able to exit and enter and exit either way you want. But yeah, for the summer crowds, that's going to be the flow.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes total sense.
Mhm.
It may actually even get more popularity at the festival, too.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. Keep that show around. I love that show so much. But yeah, the only thing that I do not like about Pandora are the Flight of Passage seats, and I'm hoping I'm kind of hoping it's like what Universal did with Forbidden Journey when that first opened. I didn't fit on it, but by the end of the summer they had seats.
I'm betting that's what's going to happen.
I'm hoping Disney sees the fact that there are so many people having trouble getting on and they do something, because Disney has always been very good about being big people friendly on their rides.
Yes.
This is literally the first and only Disney attraction I have ever been turned away from.
Wow.
It's kind of weird, because I'm used to it at like SeaWorld and Universal, but I've never thought that I'd get that from Disney.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I would like to thank our guest tonight. Thanks, Lee, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I will be happy to come back anytime.
At very such short notice, like literally almost 24 hours ago, we were planning this. And then now we are like, we're finishing up with it. It's just, it was a weird past 20 something hours for me. And I'm glad it went well. So, Alex, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me here on YouTube at Alex Productions. You can find me on Twitter at AlexShowPROD. That's AlexShowPROD. And you can find me on Equestrian Mino at Alex Productions. And very soon, VidMe. And join me next week on Alex Productions with a brand new episode on Thursday with Alicia Stella from the Orlando Park Stop.
Cool. And Danielle, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at OUMockingJ, and you'll be able to see me in the parks later this month for all the stuff that'll be happening. So definitely follow along so that I can see you guys out in the parks.
Yeah, definitely to meet up.
Absolutely. That sounds like a plan.
Thanks. Where can we find you?
Yep.
All right.
Everywhere in Orlando.
Personal, you can find me Twitter at Bankslee, Instagram at Disney Goofball, Facebook.com/Bankslee. I have a public profile. And then through work, Twitter at Attractions, Facebook.com/Attractions Magazine, Instagram at Attractions Magazine, and then, of course, YouTube.com/Attractions Magazine, where I host our weekly Attractions Magazine, the show, every Thursday, new episode. And I'm also in charge of all the videos, so I'm pretty much on there every single day. So that's where you can find me, and I hope to see you out there.
Well, I would like to really thank you for coming on. It's just it's been great having you, and we will definitely have you back whenever at least Mel and Danielle experience Pandora, so we can have everybody on, and then we can talk spoilers and all that stuff.
Yeah, full spoiler cast, yes. Please, I'd love to.
And definitely whenever I go in October, whenever I come back, we'll have you on so I can chat with you about like, wow, what did I just experience?
Right.
Because I feel like that's how I'm gonna be.
What you need to do is record a live podcast in the park. Just record on your phone.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
do it inside Pandora.
That's a very good idea. Thank you so much for that. I've never even thought of that. I will have to figure out a way to do that. I have a tablet, but I don't know. Maybe I can use my mom's Surface or something like that. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Travis Coaster and on Instagram at Travis Coaster, and I have a page on Facebook, I guess, that you can friend me on. It's Travis Coaster, obviously. And you can follow the podcast at TheCoasterCasters on Twitter, Instagram, and you can follow like the Facebook page at TheCoasterCasters. And I think that's it. Of course, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously. And thank you all for watching. This was a great episode, probably my favorite episode. And I never go back and listen to things. But whenever this thing is posted, I am literally going to go back and listen to it just to see how many times I freaked out or something like that. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next week with another special guest. I'm not going to announce it yet. I will announce it when it's officially official. But we are in talks for another special guest to talk about his/her, not or and, I'm just saying his/her opinions.
They should not be named.
Yes, not named yet, but their opinions on Pandora World of Avatar. And that will be the second part of The Road to Pandora. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Peace out, everyone.
Bye. Have a good